Hi, I'm Pankaj Diwan, founder of Idealabs and co-founder of Block 91, an end-to-end blockchain solutions company. Today I'm here to talk about blockchain and give a bird's eye view of what blockchain is and what is the scenario of blockchain in India. For beginners, blockchain is probably amongst the most talked after technology in recent times. For some, it's like the steam engine of industrial revolution. For others, it's like the internet of 1990s. And for others, it's also a very overhyped technology. And to be honest, I think the jury is out on where blockchain is going to end. However, the adoption of blockchain over the last few years and in the last few months especially has been overwhelming. And that's where I think it's one technology which we need to start looking at in a more serious way and focus on it. Blockchain is often called as a technology of trust. Blockchain is also called as a single source of truth when multiple parties are working together. Essentially, blockchain is not a new technology but a combination of many technologies which have been there in computer science for the last 15-20 years. It includes cryptography and encryption, it includes distributed computing principles, it includes what we call as inter-exchange and interoperability of information. Why is blockchain important? Now, for a long time, businesses have operated with each other with a centralized authority arbitrating and deciding whether the transaction has been completed or not. For example, in financial institutions like banks, they take care of the arbitration between two parties when they do a financial exchange. Similarly, you have government offices like the Stamp Registry Office, which arbitrates over any property transaction. People have been wondering and asking this question, why do we need a central authority? Because the moment we have a central authority, there is some service charge which is involved, there is also bureaucracy which comes in, and it also becomes a single point of failure and often also a point where some manipulation can happen. So the world of blockchain talks about decentralization and the world of blockchain talks about peer-to-peer transaction, and the trust between parties when they do transaction is created by the technology of blockchain instead of having a centralized authority, and that's what makes blockchain so interesting. Blockchain can also be of multiple types. You have public blockchains where you have multiple peers, multiple entities involved, and the consensus happens by majority of people voting for the transaction. Enterprises have also started adopting blockchain and realized that public blockchain probably has some limitations in terms of the number of transactions. They also certainly vary about their data going outside their enterprises, which is where you have private blockchains or what we call as permission blockchains. And in permission blockchains, the enterprises ensure that there are some entities who are responsible for taking care of this trust. So this is essentially how blockchain works. I think in terms of blockchain adoption, India has really been a little laggard in the last 2 years, while the world across North America, South Korea, Russia and parts of Europe have been spearheading with blockchain adoption and cryptocurrency adoption. I think India has been a little slow, but in the last few months we see a lot of activity with both the governments and the private enterprises taking a leapfrog in terms of adoption of blockchain. I am myself talking to a lot of companies and working with them on the blockchain adoption strategy, and there is a very exciting interest that I see in these companies, and most companies have now created a special group or a special interest group and an evangelist group around blockchain so that they can plan the roadmap for blockchain adoption in their companies. As far as global world is concerned, as far as the global sphere is concerned, there is no specific leader in blockchain as of today. There is no specific country or no specific company which is perhaps a leader in blockchain industry. You have some developments going on across the world. Blockchain itself is going through a lot of evolution. There is a lot of discussion in terms of optimization of blockchain, in terms of the improvement in the transactions per minute, transactions per second of blockchain. So it's also a great opportunity for India to get in tune and get competitive and be one of the leading powers in the blockchain world. So one interesting question which has often been asked about blockchain is, if blockchain is really so good, why are not the big companies like Google, Microsoft and Oracle participating in that, and why are they not supporting? Well, the answer is out, and only in last 1 month all the three big companies like Google, Microsoft and Oracle have all either announced a rollout of their own blockchain solutions or support of existing blockchain solutions. For example, Microsoft has released the Microsoft Workbench, where now you can build applications over Ethereum and other blockchain protocols through their Azure server. Similarly, Google has just last week announced their partnership with Digital Assets, a blockchain based company. Oracle has also announced its cloud services and integration with blockchain solutions. So I think the question about why are the big guys not getting into blockchain is now answered by them, and going forward we'll see more and more activity from these organizations in the blockchain space.